Alright boys, so in today's video we're going to be going over Olympus and I'm going to be trying to give you guys the best guide I can, but this is about in the story where it's a box check, alright? DW's being like, how good is your box? Because there are a lot of fights that will remind you of things like Shimosa, where you're forced to bring a NPC friend support, and then it's pretty much up to you and your box to get the job done, especially for some of these fights that can be really hard. So I'm gonna try to just go over things that I did to get through some of the quests, some of the things that I did to maybe cheese it. But yeah, this is going to be hard for a lot of players. Some people have already just blitzed through it and were probably like, that wasn't all that hard at all, or they just had the right servants to get the job done. But yeah, this is going to be a bit of a toughie one, and I'm just going to let you guys in on a little spoiler. Lostbelt 6 isn't any easier, right? The next story chapter is also pretty hard as well, as someone that's finished it on JP. But thankfully, at least for Lostbelt 6, they give you these little blue cubes that are basically free revives. So it's like, hey, if Serranos is just absolutely obliterating you right now, at the very least you can revive. By the way, before the video begins, if you enjoy daily FGO content, smash that like button. Hit the like, subscribe, whatever it is, like, subscribe button. You guys know what it is, man. And then I stream every weekday. Peep the Twitch link down in the description down below. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the bosses in here. So I've gone ahead and I've kind of already marked some of them that I thought were a little annoying. Yep, this is already where it starts to get a bit annoying, because it's like, okay, you're gonna fight Talos, which is a giant mech robot. He's not particularly super hard, right? It's just that they're forcing you to bring Musashi, which is pretty annoying in and of itself. And so then you got to bring Musashi again. Thankfully for this one, this is kind of what everybody wanted for Shimosa. It's like, if you're gonna make me bring Musashi, don't make me fight Tomoe Archer, where Musashi's basically a wet paper towel. At least here, Musashi can do some pretty good damage. Like, at least for this fight in particular, the friend Musashi, you can opt to just try to buff her up as much as possible and use her as your main DPS. You can bring things like your Lostbelt 5.2 mash. You can bring your waivers, your Merlins. I'm not going to say Shakespeare, because I think he'll get obliterated in 2.5 seconds, but your other support casters, or just support type servants, if you're using Osaka Behime or Reigns, if you can just kind of buff up Musashi, she can get the job done here. She can actually get this challenge quest done. Well, not challenge quest, but these hard fights done. This actually isn't the main Dioscuri fight, so I wouldn't really worry about this too much. This is where, like, maybe you could say Musashi struggles a little bit, but also notice that their HP values go down significantly in this fight, because now there's two enemies. Do also keep in mind that the Dioscuri twins on NP, for any fights that they're in, they pierce defense and they pierce invincibility. So if it's coming down to a fight, they really do make you pick priority. I would still probably go for Dioscuri, even though Talos is a berserker and could do a lot of damage to your entire party. Your Musashi down here does get sure hit down here to actually pierce their evasion. So at the very least, if your pierce invincibility with Musashi's down, you can get through the Dioscuri twins and actually just fold them like an omelet. And we come down here. This is maybe kind of an annoying quest for some people, I was thinking, but you're not forced to bring anybody. You just have to have MASH in the front row, and you're pretty much just beating up on Musashi. Again, just remember that Musashi has her own invincibility. She has a debuff cleanse. She has like pierce invincibility, and she just generally hits pretty hard. But I mean, if you're really struggling, you could just bring some friend Archer. You can bring a friend Kualter, something along those lines, and just clap her up pretty quick, fast, and in a hurry. This is the only thing down here is that, like, ooh, she gets extra NP every single turn, but it's like, man, who actually cares? Like, just fold her like an omelet. This is just kind of like standard saber battle, not too hard. This is where things start to get a little annoying. Because I think, yep, and then the other one is right here. Yeah, there are two Demeter fights. Demeter is probably the, I would say, the most infamous boss from Olympus, because it is so annoying to do. Now, I thankfully did this on JP when Morgan, Castoria, and Merlin and all them came out, and I was able to, on stream, do kind of a stall setup where Merlin and Castoria would always be at, like, overcharge 3 because of, Brave Chains and Morgan's ability to overcharge everybody's NP, and then Morgan would just slowly whittle down Demeter. But you don't really have that option on NA, so it's basically what is the best stall team you can put together, because neither Canis nor Musashi are really going to help you out in this battle. You might as well just take into account that you don't have these servants, right? You might as well consider they're already dead. They're just not even there. I don't even consider them part of the party. Maybe there'll be like one person in the comments being like, bro, my Musashi made it to the end of the battle and she took it. Good for you, bro. But like, these fights suck. At least this one, you don't have to finish, right? But this one, you do have to finish. See, no nonsense, right? And this is the one that they bring back for the Memorial Quest. And this can be quite annoying, because the lady down here has this annoying regeneration buff. She has a guts, and it's just like she takes no damage because of her massive defense. It is just a pain in the side to do. If you have someone that can pierce defense, I highly recommend doing that. If you have a CE that pierces defense, which I don't even think we have on NA yet. I know we just got one on the JP version of the game. I don't recall having one on NA, but if there's one I'm forgetting about, someone will definitely let me know in the comments. I'll pin it, because you're going to need everything you can possibly get for this fight, because if you're not bringing pierce defense and you're not stalling, you're not going to win this fight. This is definitely one of those checks that DW is like, how well can you beat in like a long drawn out fight, right? Because this is a toughy one. Like, this one can be very, very difficult, again, unless you have really solid servants with pierce defense, or you're bringing CEs that just give your party innate pierce defense. Again, Dioscuri did just come out, but unfortunately they don't have Castoria right now. So even though I think they're really good, I don't really think they're very good for this fight, because they're not hitting for super effective. A lot of other like pierce defense servants, I believe, are like Emiya and stuff, but just find someone that you have, right, that you can try to make work, right? Like, if you have Dioscuri, but you have Tamamo, make it work, right? Just find somebody with pierce defense, make your life easier, please. Like, that's just the best advice I could possibly give you. And make sure you have longevity, right? Because you're going to be in this fight, even with pierce defense, for quite a while. Because let's say you're using someone like, don't use Emiya, right? Because Emiya's AoE, it's going to be pretty hard, unless you're doing like a Merlin strat, because I think Merlin with Emiya doing a bunch of crits, you actually probably could crit Demeter down. But then again, the only thing that Emiya does pierce defense on is his NP, so that could be like, you have to kind of time it correctly. So that could be a really little annoying, but you guys get the basic gist on that one, right? Bring pierce defense, make your life easier, or bring a very steady stall team. Merlin, very, very good for stuff like this, for his ability to constantly heal you every turn and just give you a lot of sustain. The only problem is that you can only bring one, so you're going to want to subsidize that with, I don't know, just any of the support that you have, like a Reigns, Waver, not a Himiko. Himiko's not even out. What's her name? Osaka Bihime. People like that are very, very good. Then we kind of scroll down a little bit more. That's not too hard. All right, yeah, then you fight, spoiler alert, you fight the Beast. This one I don't really think is too difficult, actually, considering after the Demeter fight. She does do a lot of annoying things down here, I guess, but I don't really consider this one to be too difficult. Let me actually double check, because all of the Beasts are actually weak to certain class. Not here, hold on. If you go to the Beast thing, they're all weak to certain things. And hers is not on here. Okay, that's a little... What the heck? That's a little... What the heck, bro? Where is it? Okay, well, I guess it's not on there. I guess we all just... I guess never mind. We don't get it for this one. But I don't really consider this one, like, too difficult. It's more, like, annoying and everything with her ability to, like, stun and also dodge and everything. But that stuff, again, you can get around if you just kind of preemptively bring somebody that has pierce evasion built into their kit. Or we do actually have sure hit CEs, that I am sure of. I know we have like quite a few of them in the game. Some of them are a bit lower rarity, so you should have access to a lot of things right here. Her regeneration isn't nearly as bad. Hers is only 5k, whereas Demeter up here is 50k. No, that's the revival. She revives 50k per turn. Where is it? It's somewhere on it. Okay, bro, she gets like 50k HP every turn. I don't know where it is, but it's somewhere in here. She recovers a lot of HP. It's like 50k. Whereas she's only getting 5k per turn. It's not that big of a deal. This is a massive guts, though, so just be aware that when you knock her down, you do have to knock her down one more time. It's basically like another health bar, basically. This I've heard has been very annoying for some people, but it really wasn't that big of a deal for me, I guess, because like Sherlock, I'm sure, can kind of be a problem because of his NP and how it interacts with NPCs, but like if you have a solid Avenger, you can kind of just burst them down. Like, especially, bro, if you have Jolter, you are eating with this fight right now. You are absolutely eating because you just destroy Sherlock, and then you just have, like, literally any archer beat up Musashi. Like, you beat up Musashi again, and now you're just going to beat up some ruler, right? So, I mean, if you have Ku Alter in your box, if you have just a strong Avenger, anybody like that can kind of deal with him rather easily. It's not too hard of a fight, I don't think. I don't think it's really that much of a struggle. Aphrodite, really not... I don't really think this one was really too hard. Just make sure you don't bring star attribute people, just to kind of let me go ahead and bring this up, just so people can kind of see the list of people that are in the star attribute. So you can see these people. Not a very big list of people, so just don't bring anybody here. In fact, we don't even have, like, this bottom row. No, yeah, we don't have you. We don't have these two, right? We don't have you. I think that's it. Yeah, I think everybody else is in the game. But realistically, like, with her being an assassin, were you really going to bring most of these people anyway? Like, maybe you would have brought MHX Alter, in which case you could probably burst... You could probably do a double Scotty MHX Alter setup and still burst her down anyway, so you could probably get away with that if you must use her. But you weren't going to bring anybody else. Where, like, maybe you were going to bring Da Vinci. Just don't. I mean, she's AoE anyway. Just don't do it. Like, don't. That's all I got to say. Just avoid doing that. Oh, dang. I'm all the way up here now. But yeah, I don't think... Aside from that, I really don't think it was all that difficult for me. You can see that she has, like, a lot of, like, resistance downs and everything, and she's going to hit you with charms and blah, 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 blahs. But that's kind of just par for the course boss stuff, right? That's just kind of par for the course. Watch out for this, though. Watch out for the insta-death. I guess that's, like, the most annoying thing that I can really think of. Yeah, just watch out for your stars and watch out for the insta-death. And then we come down here. There's... Yeah, this is not the main fight, I don't believe, either. And even if it was, this was, like, a very easy fight for me. I at least remember. Because the fights that you can bring where you're not restricted to bring any of these people, I don't really count as difficult because you can cheese them with solos, right? Like, you can just bring someone to solo and just beat it up, right? And so it's like, I'm not really focusing too heavily on those because those are the ones that you can kind of cheese a little bit. All right, here's the main Dio Scurry fight. How I know this is not a hard fight is that people have, like, pseudo soloed this with Gilgamesh. And I don't know if you guys have seen Gilgamesh's kit. I'll go ahead and I'll pull him up for you real quick. But my boy Gilgamesh ain't exactly built. Where the heck is Gilgamesh? A beast. Bro. See, I thought he was a star guy, but I guess he's not. Okay, I'm just going to casters. But, like, if we go to, like, Gilgamesh's kit, this is not a guy built to solo. This is not a soloing quest, dude. Where's his survivability? Like, he's not built to solo stuff. And the fact that you can solo this quest, or at least pseudo-solo with Gilgamesh, should tell you that it is really not that hard of a quest, right? And do keep in mind, all of these quests where they make you bring Mash is giga strong in this. Like, by the way, let me scroll down real quick. Yeah, that would be hard. I just want to make a point here. The Wodamine fight, you can almost solo it with Mash. In fact, like, I think that's how a lot of people end up finishing off the quest, because your Mash in this singularity, especially during this fight, is just so powerful. Like, they just put Mash on actual steroids for, like, the entirety of this. So make use of your Mash when you can, especially, like, if you're struggling with this or you're trying to, like, brute force your way through it. Dude, your Mash could probably solo it. In fact, I've seen a lot of people do end up soloing it with their Mash. It'll take a long time, but she can do it because she's way too strong. All right, this one, the Zeus one, because you're not actually restricted in bringing anybody, don't really count it as being, like, all that difficult. No, wait, this is the first one. Never mind, hold on. There we go, this one. Sorry, my bad. I got these ones mixed up. You don't have to actually beat this one. This is another ends after turn 4, because we walk up to Zeus and he kind of just folds us like an omelet, and then we summon Quirinius, and then you bring Quirinius. Quirinius is kind of strong in this one, but realistically, if you have any Avengers, they're just gonna absolutely fold this pull this one. You do get support from the giant mech golden bear, you know, Kintoki's giant mech. You get support from that. That definitely does help this out a lot. Make sure you're making use of this, please. It'll make your life a lot easier. If you have Jalter, she pretty much trivializes this quest. It's very similar to the Chi Huang quest, where Jalter can pretty much just body this guy in 2.5 seconds. So really not that hard. This one, I know people can have trouble with this one, but keep in mind, again, cheesable, because you're not forced to bring any of these lamos over here, right? So it's definitely cheesable. Then we already talked about Wodamine, Golden Canis. Yeah, this one can be a little bit hard, but you have to fight her again? No? No. There's another fight up here. Right? To fight this Canis, yeah. This one could also be hard, but keep in mind, this is when like your mash is also like giga strong, so it's not like super, super difficult. This Canis can be a little annoying, but like surely you have a good saber. Like everybody at least has Bedivere. Like I know beating it with Bedivere NP1 isn't ideal, but everybody does at least have a pretty strong single target saber that they can use for this. Bro, you could bring Caesar with my boy Sherlock, and then if you just have anybody to support that Caesar, you could probably get the job done. Because don't forget, like I just did the tier list with this guy. This guy's nuts. Look, bro, you destroy Canis. Look at this. Look at it. You destroy her, and he's NP4. He's lowering her defense by like pretty much 48% for 3 turns. You smack past invincibility, you pierce her defense, and then you just smack her for big crits. Like, you destroy Canis, all right? You obliterate her. She gets, like, look at this. She gives herself invincibility. Fodder. Trash. Like, look at this. Obliterated. Garbage. Rubbish. Easiest fight, okay? Maybe saying that is going to make somebody mad, but you thrash this fight, okay? You throttle Canis in this fight. So, realistically, just worry about, like, maybe if you don't have a good Avenger or, like, a good Zerg to take this on, this will probably be pretty hard for you. But like any of these ones where you see like you're not restricted, there are ways to cheese it. And keep in mind, if you need help with any of this, you can come to the Discord. And there are definitely people that can be like, you can post your box, because a lot of this is going to be very box specific. Like which fights are you going to struggle with is going to depend on your box. So feel free to come into the Discord and be like, oh man, I'm really having struggles with like this Demeter fight. Like, can anybody help me do a team build or something? We definitely have people that can help you out with that. Especially for the ones where you can actually bring friends. You're like, hey man, I really need to borrow somebody's Chi Huang, somebody's Gilgamesh, somebody's Ku Altar. I can definitely hook you up with that. All right, so it is difficult, but you can get through it. Most of it is pretty cheesable, aside from some of these very annoying bosses. And hey, man, if you can't beat it now, just wait for Castoria to come out, because Castoria honestly helps you just destroy so many of these different quests. Like, she honestly just throttles so much of this. But with all that being said, boys, leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll catch you guys in the next one.